Welcome to the 98th Annual Utah State Junior Livestock Show, the longest running junior livestock show this side of the Mississippi River. Been going on for a long time. This stock show premieres market animals for the industry. You have exhibitors all the way from elementary age school up through seniors in high school that spend an awful lot of time fitting these animals and feeding them to their maximum potential, and then they come here to this show and compete. The competition for the stock show is divided up into 4 species. You have beef, you have pigs, you have sheep, and you have goats. And those are kind of the 4 major meats that are featured here. And so the competition is to sift through all in all, between all of those species of animals, there's between 500 and 600 animals down here competing. Judges from all over the nation that are professionals in the industry that come and sort through these animals and determine the best of the best in order. And at the end, they crown a grand champion and a reserve champion and a star class that ranks down to the top 10 of each species, and then they rank down from there. The sale is where these animals are then offered for market sale. They will go into the market to feed the local surrounding community. And we have businesses, we have individuals, we have families from all over that come down to fill their freezer really with top quality meat. It's really one of the best places where you can get, if you're looking for some of the most organic, fresh meat that you can find. These animals have all been well taken care of. They've been exercised, fed the top quality feed, and cared for in a manner better than most to get them to their maximum quality. There are also some female animals in each species, other than beef, that will be sold, and some individuals will actually, some farmers may choose to buy those animals to introduce as a breeding program into their own stock and help improve their stock as well. The genetics that are bred into some of these animals for years and years and years provide top quality genetics into some people's programs that they're working on hard at their farm too. And so they'll bring some of these females in and introduce them into their herd and try to improve their herd that way too. So it's exciting because all of the sale money that comes through that sale goes straight back to these exhibitors, straight back to these kids that have worked extra hard and put a lot of hours and a lot of effort into their animal, and it allows them to buy that next option, to do their next program, to do their next stock show. I've known plenty of kids who have gone to college, gone on a mission, gone on to marriage later on in years, using the funds that they have gained over the years through the stock show program. So it's a way that these kids can earn back a lot of their hard work.
I'm Jim Jensen. I have been involved here with the Junior Livestock Show for about 43 years. I was the 4-H youth agent here in the county for the first 30 of that, and then I was still stationed here, but I was the state 4-H livestock and ag program leader for a few years, and then I've been retired now for almost 7. And was involved clear back when I did my student teaching over at Springville High School in their FFA program. So been here for a long time, almost half of what the show has run. It's a lot different. We used to have almost everything over in the old yellow barn over there, the Heritage Barn. We had the old auction barn where we had the sale, really small, just wouldn't hold anywhere near as many people as we have in here today. We'd have our sale there. We'd also have our hog show there, and then the animals would be out in the old hog barn, the K-pens that were right next to it. We had the old dairy barn over there for the beef. We had a whole lot smaller show. A lot of times we'd have 40, 50, 60 lambs, and now we have 250. Same with the hogs and the steers. A lot smaller. Facilities were not nearly as nice, and Really a good show even back then, but nothing like it is today. Back then, a lot of the school teachers, even down in the elementary grades, were 4-H leaders or had gone through the program themselves, knew all about it. And my kids, my oldest kids, when they first started, and were even high school age and playing football and whatever else, baseball in the spring, they'd tell their coaches, you know, we're going to the stock show, we have animals there, and the coaches would say, well, we'll be there too. And that's not the case anymore. Now we have a whole new generation of teachers and administrators that really don't know what it's all about here. We have a lot more kids involved, but Utah County has a whole lot more kids than we had back at that time. So, you know, just percentages, I'm guessing, are not any greater, but our numbers are sure up. So the judges are always looking for the not only the carcass characteristics, what kind of carcass that animal is going to have, but they look at skeletal structure, and they look at all of most of the stock show people call it the bells and whistles, which is just the attractiveness of that animal, what it looks like. That is partially genetic and partially how they're groomed, but they're looking to make sure that structurally they're correct, that the kids are breeding or buying the correct kind of livestock, and that they've fed them well and taken care of them, and then they present them well and show them to the judge. So they'll show in the market classes as well as the showmanship classes. In the market class, the judge is looking at the actual market animal and marketability of that animal, but then also at attractiveness and ring presence and all of those things. When they do the showmanship, then they're looking at just how the kid presents that animal, and not so much about the animal as it is about their presentation and what they've learned as far as how to present that animal. So, you know, they're, again, back to the life skills. They're learning the way of presenting themselves, way of presenting their animals. I've had, I don't know how many kids tell me, my 4-H and FFA projects prepared me for job interviews and interactions with customers. If I have a customer service job, it's just prepared me for all of those things in life that I'd have had to sit and learn in class or learn through the School of Hard Knocks if I didn't have this to prepare me. So that particular family will buy their steers in September of the year before, or they have cattle that they raise themselves, but they'll start working with them clear back then. And she has almost a daily interaction with those animals, and they get to be not necessarily pets, but almost like pets. My own granddaughters show lambs, and those lambs will meet them at the fence and eat out of their hand, and it's almost like a pet dog. And they raise them and bring them to here, and it's kind of a teary moment when they finally sell them and move on. And they'll have some more animals for county fair and like that, so they have something to kind of pull off on. But still, they get an attachment to those animals, and they know the animals' habits, and the animals know their habits. And animals can be pretty forgiving friends, but sometimes they're a little on the other side too, and a little flighty and harder to take care of. So they'll develop different relationships with each animal depending on that animal's temperament and what they act like, how they react to the kids. As I said, my whole life and career has kind of been based around youth and youth leadership and interactions, things that I see there. And when I see our older kids helping the younger kids or giving them pointers, that's probably what puts the biggest smile on my face. And you know, we have kids who have gone through the programs and have gotten really, really good at what they do. And I'm sure you've been here, you've heard the judges talk about how professional these kids are and how well done everything is, and that they'll compare anywhere in the nation. And sometimes we see in some of our other programs where those kids get really good and get a little bit snobby. And here it's kind of a different thing. The better they get, the more willing they seem to be to help. And so, you know, we have the kids like our sheep showmanship winners who are the very best in the county. And you'll see Wyatt helping anyone that needs help. He'll stop and give pointers, talk to anybody, give them that encouragement. And their parents are the same way. You know, they're training their own kids how to be that good, but they'll also stop and talk to people and give them pointers and say, you know, if we did this, we'd have this kind of a result. And I think that's what puts the biggest smile on my face.
I'll tell you what, I have two of my own kids in this program. They showed their pigs and they competed very, very well. Hard to say that that's not my favorite when I watch my own kids in the ring, but to see kids grow is honestly my favorite thing. It's not easy. A lot of kids put a lot of hard work into these animals, a lot of time, and they don't get the accolades, right? They don't come away as the winner. And that's very, very hard. One of the things that I love to tell my kids all the time is it's really easy to be a good winner. It's not that easy to be a good loser. And in each species, there are only 2 animals crowned as your grand champion and reserve champion animals. And not to say that anything beyond them is bad. They're very good animals from top to bottom, but those winners, that's what everybody's here for. And when you can only have 2 of them out of each species, it's hard. But to watch these kids move through that difficulty, learn that hard lesson, and move on and congratulate each other. I've watched a lot of kids with tears in their eyes because they weren't crowned that champion go right up to that next person and congratulate them. And I think the world could use a lot more of that. That's been one of my favorite things. The sale is a fun atmosphere. I invite anybody to come down and be a part of it. The sale, to see these animals in their prime and to see the kids gaining their reward, if you will, at the end. It's fun.